Okay, so welcome to the deep dive.
hmm
We're all about taking what we found and giving you the need to know, right?
Hmm.
So today, that means diving headfirst into these big tech changes.
Mm.
I mean, the ones that are already shaking things up, not like something we're waiting on. We're talking about how businesses work, how they win. Basically, our goal is to make sure you're not just keeping up, but actually getting ahead.
Yeah, exactly. What we really want to do is focus on those key areas that are shifting the game. And the three that we're going to be looking at today are AI-powered automation, and then we've got quantum computing. And of course, no conversation about tech would be complete without 5G and how that's evolving. And the big thing is these aren't just like trends, they're things that are happening right now and changing how we approach everything. Challenges, opportunities, the whole nine yards.
All right, so AI-powered automation. It feels like AI is, well, it's everywhere, right? But I think the real thing here is to understand what it means for the everyday, for how work actually gets done, how decisions are made. And I mean, yeah, it makes things more efficient, sure, but it's like it's giving us this whole new level of understanding when it comes to data and how to
Yeah.
like connect with customers. It's getting pretty sophisticated.
What's really interesting, what's really transformative is how AI is becoming more, I guess you could say, cognitive. It's not just about doing tasks, it's about assisting in almost a thinking kind of way. And a perfect example of that is predictive analytics. We're not just talking about looking at old data anymore. These AI algorithms are finding these really subtle patterns in huge data sets, and they're able to forecast trends in the future. And it's pretty accurate, remarkably accurate. So imagine for a second an AI system that sees a spike in demand coming for a product weeks before it actually happens. I mean, that gives you a huge advantage, right? You can prepare, adjust your supply chain, and you're not caught flat-footed.
Exactly. It's like it's not just about reacting quicker. It's about seeing what's coming and being ready. It's like a data-driven crystal ball or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have RPA, robotic process automation. Now, that might sound kind of basic, but it's anything but. We're talking about software robots that can do those repetitive tasks, invoices, data entry, all that stuff. And they do it way faster and more accurately than any human could. Consistently, I mean.
Right. And think about what that means for your team.
Yeah.
Instead of them spending hours on this manual work that's, kind of soul crushing, you can let these bots handle it. And it frees up your people to focus on the stuff that really matters, the strategy, the innovation, the creative stuff that humans are really good at. So let's say you have a great accountant and they're spending half their week doing data entry. Well, now the bot does that in a fraction of the time. And that accountant, they can spend that time on analysis, on big picture thinking, actually using their brain power.
Right, right. It's about potential, using your
Uh-huh.
resources where they count. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's shift gears for a second. Let's talk about something that might still feel a little futuristic to some people, but it's getting real fast. Quantum computing.
So if you think about how computing power has evolved, quantum computing is a total game changer. The way we process information, it's different at a fundamental level. With typical computers, we're talking about bits. It's a 0 or a 1. That's it. But with quantum computers, we're talking about qubits. And here's the kicker. A qubit, it can be a 0, it can be a 1, or it can be both at the same time.
Wait. It could be both at the same time? I don't think I get that.
Yeah, it's a little mind-bending, right? Imagine flipping a coin, but instead of landing on heads or tails, it just keeps spinning in the air, both possibilities at once. It's this quantum weirdness, as they call it, that makes quantum computers so powerful. They can explore a huge number of possibilities all at the same time. And that means they can tackle these incredibly complex problems that would choke even the most powerful supercomputers we have today.
Okay, so that's cool and all, but for our listener, what does this actually mean? What's the real world impact here?
Well, think about industries like finance, healthcare, logistics. These are areas that deal with incredibly complex problems. I mean, optimizing a global supply chain, discovering new drugs, building financial risk models, those are huge computational challenges. And quantum computing, it has the potential to completely change the game. We could be looking at breakthroughs that, honestly, we can barely imagine right now.
So, like, what are we talking about specifically? What kinds of things are already happening?
Well, there are some really interesting examples in our research. Volkswagen, for instance, they've been experimenting with quantum algorithms to try to optimize traffic flow in cities.
Traffic? Really?
Yeah. Think about that for a second. If it works, you could reduce congestion, lower fuel consumption, and even have a positive impact on the environment. All because of quantum computing. It's not just about faster calculations, it's about solving entirely new kinds of problems.
It really makes you think differently, doesn't it? So,
Right.
okay, maybe we're not all using quantum computers every day just yet, but the research, the development, it's all happening right now. So for leaders, for anyone making decisions, the question is, should you be paying attention? Should you be thinking about what this means for your industry, for your company? Should you be looking at potential partnerships, collaborations, getting ready for a potential disruption?
Exactly. It's about future-proofing your strategy, being
Yeah.
ready for whatever comes next.
Right.
So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about something that's, well, it's already here, 5G connectivity.
Right, 5G. And I think it's important to be clear here. This isn't just like a little upgrade. This is a huge leap in what mobile networks can do. We're talking way faster downloads and uploads. Latency, that's the responsiveness, that's incredibly low. And we can connect a crazy number of devices all at once. And this isn't just about streaming movies on your phone faster.
Yeah.
Okay? This is about how businesses operate, how they compete.
What's exciting about 5G is that it's like a foundation for a lot of the other innovations we're talking about. Take remote work, for example. I mean, with 5G, you have the bandwidth, you have the low latency, and suddenly real-time collaboration with colleagues, anyone in the world, it's not just a dream, it's real. High-definition video, instant data sharing, it's like everyone's in the same room, even if they're oceans apart.
Right. It shrinks the world, basically. And then you've got the Internet of Things, the IoT. I mean, think about a factory, a smart factory, where every machine, every sensor is talking to each other in real time. You can optimize everything,
Mhm.
production schedules, maintenance. You can avoid downtime. I mean, this kind of efficiency, it just wasn't possible before 5G. The networks couldn't handle it. But now, well, now we had the infrastructure for it.
Of course, 5G is not, it's not a magic bullet. Setting up the infrastructure is a big deal. And depending on where you are, the availability, the speed, it can still be a bit spotty.
Right, which leads to a pretty big question for business leaders, right?
Yeah.
How do you invest in 5G in a smart way? Where do you put the money to get the most bang for your buck? I mean, you really have to look at your specific needs, your industry. Where can that speed, that low latency, that connectivity make a real difference? Maybe even make you more competitive. Can you create new products, new services, things that wouldn't have been possible before?
Yeah, it's a strategic challenge, and it requires a real understanding of your business and how 5G is evolving. Where are the bottlenecks in what you're doing now, and how can 5G help remove them? How can you use this technology to create real value for your customers? These are the questions you got to be asking.
Okay, so let's take a step back for a second and look the big picture. We've talked about AI-powered automation and how it's changing how we work and how we make decisions. We've talked about quantum computing and its potential to solve these incredibly complex problems that we couldn't even touch before. And then we have 5G connectivity, this high-speed, low-latency network that's connecting everything and everyone.
And it's important to remember that these technologies, they don't just exist in isolation, they work together. All that data that comes from the Internet of Things, all those devices connected by 5G, it feeds the AI algorithms, makes them even more powerful, and quantum computing, even though it's still early, it could end up accelerating breakthroughs in AI. It's all connected.
At the end of the day, these changes, these technologies, they're creating a future that is, well, it's full of potential, but to really take advantage of that potential, to really succeed, you need leadership. You need to be willing to adapt, and you need to invest strategically. You can't just sit back and wait for things to happen.
So, after listening to this deep dive, I want you to really think about something. Think about how these three forces, AI-powered automation, quantum computing, and 5G connectivity, how are they going to impact you, your organization, your industry, even your own career? What are the possibilities here? What can you do that you couldn't do before? That's the question to take with you as you explore this rapidly changing world of technology. Keep asking those questions, keep exploring, and you'll be well on your way to not just surviving, but thriving in this exciting future.
And that's a wrap. That's the deep dive for this week. Catch you next time.